And in our top business story, business confidence in the UAE rebounded in the second quarter of the year from four-year lows in the previous quarter. The latest Global Economic Conditions survey from the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants has shown positive signs for businesses in the GCC in Q2. It stated that this improvement in business confidence was underpinned by the higher oil prices in Q2, although prices still remain well below their highs of a few years ago. The ACCA said that a continued focus on diversification for the region remains important, adding that government efforts to close the budget deficit are still required for the longer-term economic stability of the region. Responses by firms in the Middle East reflected this reduction in capital spending, with 43% of firms in the Middle East reporting a fall in government support in Q2, above the global average of 34%. In addition, most businesses believe that this will continue, with 22% of them expecting a significant drop in government spending. That's compared with 19% globally. Passenger traffic at Dubai International reached a record 40.5 million passengers in the first half of 2016. That's according to a report issued today by operator Dubai Airports. According to the report, DXB handled a total of 40,506,456 passengers during the first half, up 5.8% compared to the corresponding period in 2015, when the airport welcomed around 38.3 million passengers. The operator stated that due to the impact of the Islamic holy month of Ramadan on travel patterns during an already traditionally slow month, traffic in June dipped 1% to 5.8 million compared to 5.9 million recorded during June 2015. In the first half of the year, the top 5 country destinations in terms of total passenger volumes were India, Saudi Arabia, the UK, Pakistan and the US. Aircraft movements in the first half totaled 207,439, up 3.8% from the corresponding period of last year, while in June aircraft movements totaled 32,368. That's a slight increase of 0.6% compared to June of last year. During the first half of 2016, air cargo volumes rose 3.8% to 1,282,025 tonnes, with Dubai International handling 226,175 tonnes of freight in June. UAE employers are failing to target valuable sources of talent, despite complaining of a skills shortage. That's according to a new survey from a specialist recruiter. The survey of more than 600 professionals and hiring managers from a range of sectors across the UAE by Robert Walters found that almost three-quarters, at 72%, admitted that they had been affected by talent shortages, but have no formal plan in place to address this. Just 4 in 10 employers stated that they have a strategy in place to attract workers who are not actively seeking a new job, despite more than 90% of professionals saying that they are open to being contacted with potential offers of employment. The survey went on to conclude that employers are neglecting important sources of talent, such as people returning to the workforce after a break, overseas talent, and professionals changing careers. In addition, it showed that 89% of UAE professionals would consider changing careers for the right opportunity, but a third of companies have no strategy in place for targeting this group. Meanwhile, 90% of professionals surveyed said that they would be open to a new job offer, but are not actively looking. Yet 2/3 of employers said they have no plan in place for targeting them. The findings also show that 40% of employers would be unlikely to hire candidates who did not meet their exact recruitment criteria, further hindering their ability to attract talent in an increasingly competitive skills market. The Telecommunications Regulatory Authority's latest statistics reveal that Samsung is the most used handset brand in the UAE, while the most popular smartphone model is Apple's iPhone 6. The TRA's Q1 report on market shares of mobile handsets, smartphones and social networking sites shows that Samsung is the most used handset brand in the UAE, with 33% of all handsets registered on the country's networks, manufactured by the South Korean tech giant. Nokia handsets remain popular in the UAE with a presence of 28% on all networks, while the third most popular handsets used in the UAE is manufactured by Apple with a 14% share, followed by BlackBerry at 2%. The report, which covers the period between the 1st of January and the 30th of March this year, and showed that smartphones represented 68.91% of handsets registered on the UAE's networks. And in terms of social media, UAE smartphone and fixed internet users made 24 billion visits to social networking websites during the period, with visits to Facebook accounting for 91% of total visits, followed by Twitter with 5% of visits, then LinkedIn, MySpace and MacTube.